And around noon today, Louisiana State Police responded to a one-vehicle crash on Louisiana Highway 484 that claimed the life of 21-year-old Chadwick Nelson II. Authorities say a vehicle driven by Nelson was headed west when he left the roadway and struck a large tree. Nelson was not buckled, sustained serious injuries, and was transported to a local hospital where he later died. This crash remains under investigation.